In this paper, we investigate how the eccentricity of a stimulus affects the perceived velocity of an object to improve our understanding of cybersickness. The primary cause of cybersickness is fixation, which describes a visually induced feeling of being in motion while being physically at rest. Previous research has found that fixation is dominantly influenced by stimuli in the peripheral vision. To better understand why this is the case, we experimentally investigated perceived object velocity in response to stimulus eccentricity. To obtain empirical measurements for this relationship, we show simple patterns known as Gabor patches at different eccentricities on a wide field of view display. Each trial consists of a central patch, which a participant observes directly, as well as a second patch observed in the periphery. These patterns are then set into motion, and the participant is tasked to adjust the central speed to match the peripheral speed. Each participant performs many such trials at different eccentricities and velocities. This way, we can determine the ratio of the perceived speed to the physical speed. To ensure participants do not accidentally look at the peripheral patch, we utilize an eye tracker to hide both stimuli when looking away from the central patch. Our results indicate that not only does the perceived velocity depend on the eccentricity of the stimulus, but that the direction of this relationship changes depending on the physical speed of the stimulus. From these results, we created an empirical model to describe the relationship between stimulus eccentricity, physical velocity, and perceived velocity. A further pilot study we performed showed no difference from the type of gaze. That is, the model stays consistent even when adding a fixation cross to prevent smooth pursuit gaze. In addition, we performed a pilot study in VR to investigate if the effect occurs under more complex circumstances as well. For this purpose, participants were presented with the VR scene containing one central and two peripheral windows. Trees behind these windows were set into motion with the velocity of the central trees being offset by the factor predicted by the model. After some time, this velocity was increased or decreased, and participants were tasked to indicate when the velocities of the different groups of trees did not match anymore. Again, we utilized eye tracking to ensure participants do not accidentally look at the peripheral stimulus directly. Our results indicate that while the effect appears to be weakened, it seems to exist for complex scenes as well. In conclusion, our findings highlight the need to account for both the eccentricity of a stimulus and the physical speed of the stimulus when researching ways to reduce cybersickness. To this end, we propose an empirical model to describe the relationship between these different factors. In the future, we hope to refine the model to account for further variables that may impact perceived object velocity. Further, we intend to use the model to investigate ways to reduce cybersickness. Thank you so much for your attention. For more details on our research, please refer to the paper.